SOOOO. If you are watching this channel right now, man, you already know you're spending some downtime with the meal. Man, it's been a while, but I'm back. I hope y'all are having a great day today whenever you're watching this video. Look, you already know Disney has dropped the first episode of Loki. We've been waiting on this for a minute ever since the Falcon and Winter Soldier wrapped up. And I've been waiting on this, man, for a minute, just waiting and waiting and waiting, but we got it. I'm going to give a review / reaction to episode 1, and I hope you can tell me what you think about it at the end of this video. But look, before we get into all that, if you're new to this channel and if you like the content that I produce, don't forget to leave a Hulk smash on that like. Also, hit that subscribe. Tell your friends about Downtime with the Meal, man, and make sure hit that like, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time a new video goes live up on this channel. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into this Loki review reaction. There will be spoilers here, so if you hadn't seen it, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about it. So basically with Loki season 1, season 1, episode 1, Loki episode 1 picks up right after the events of Avengers Endgame, when Loki takes the Tesseract. Loki has a Tesseract and he is basically portaled. He finds himself in Mongolia and he's in this land. He doesn't know where he is. And so these people show up in armored gear, who is basically the TVA. They're kind of like guards. They've got armor on. They control the flow of time. They take Loki into custody, and you know Loki, he's not gonna go without a fight, but it doesn't matter. They have this stick that's got this thing at the end of it. It's just glowing red, and they slap him, and his just like slow motion, like if you're in a boxing match and you just hit someone and they're like, oh, and they basically put a collar on him, man, and take him into custody, right? So the TVA has Loki in the custody. They take him in. They basically strip him literally of all of his power, all of his clothing, and he's wearing like some sort of jumpsuit, like similar to what I guess someone in prison would wear. But in this case, he's got TVA on it, letting him know he's a part of the TVA system. The TVA, that's the time variant authority who controls the flow of time. Loki is basically captured by these people, and you know, he's understanding that he's guilty of affecting the timeline. Well, he tries to plead his case, saying that it was the Avengers, it's not him. And the judge in the TVA is like, no, actually the Avengers were doing what they were supposed to do. You were not supposed to be affecting the timeline, taking the Tesseract and all of that. So while this is going on, Owen Wilson's character, Morbius, he's in the, basically like sitting on one of the chairs in the back, and he's in, you know, this courtroom. And so Morbius takes him along. Well, before he gets to that part, he goes up to the judge and says, you know, I think we can probably get some good use out of him. And the judge is like, you know, I think this is a mistake, but if this falls, this is on you. So reluctantly, she lets Morbius take possession of Loki. And, you know, Morbius is basically just telling Loki what is the TVA and why he's there. And Loki, of course, is resisting. Loki is just in such big disbelief, right? Because, you know, he's never been here before. He's never heard of the TVA. So this is all new to him. Plus he's resisting. So he's being classic Loki here. So after a while, Loki is in the office of Morbius, and Morbius starts showing him, you know, on this really huge, like high-tech projector, all of Loki's failures, starting with when he was in New York and failed against the Avengers, and shows different other moments where, you know, he basically failed. And, you know, and it's kind of funny looking at the interaction between Morbius, played by Owen Wilson, and Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, because you just really get this dialogue that is just, you know, there's so much chemistry between Loki and Morbius. So, you know, Morbius is just like, gosh, you seem just like, you're trying to be a ruler, but you keep failing. And and it's funny because he's like mocking him. He's Morbius is mocking Loki at the same time, and so it's just really funny seeing the dialogue between the two, and it really comes out really, really well here. After seeing all of this, Loki is basically just trying to understand all of this. And so in his failures, in the failures that Morbius is actually showing Loki, he actually shows him a part of the timeline that he hadn't experienced yet from Thor the Dark World, showing him how his mom was killed. And so you really start to see Loki really get emotional. And at some point, during this time, one of the guards comes into the room where Morbius and Loki are. And the guard basically speaks to Morbius in private and says, I really think this is a mistake what you're doing. He should be reset. You should not be talking to the variant. And, Morbius is like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. They go back into his office and Loki is gone. Loki has taken a device that allows members of the TVA to reverse time. And they were doing this on Loki the whole time. Every time he would try to attack them, when they brought him in, they would just do this little thing where they could just reverse time. And it would just be like right before Loki tried to attack them, it would just go right back to the beginning of that. Well, Loki stole that device while Morbius was out of the office talking to one of the guards from the TVA. And so now Loki has transported himself to a place where there's a TVA worker. TVA worker is just this office guy, that hasn't gotten out, doesn't really know anything outside of the TVA. And he's basically, Loki is telling him, I need you to take me to the Tesseract or else I'm going to gut you like a fish. And the TVA worker is like, what fish? What is a fish? They have that dialogue. Then the scene jumps to where Loki is back in Morbius's office and he starts using that projector to go back in time to see the events that he missed, since he did not see and experience the timeline that Morbius showed him earlier. So he goes back and he sees his mom again in Thor the Dark World, and he sees Thor and he sees Odin from Thor Ragnarok. But he also goes back even further and he sees the future, a version of Loki himself actually getting killed at the hands of Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. And he's just, in shock. He's very emotional. And, basically by this time, Morbius has come back into the room and he's basically getting Loki to open up and basically just say, hey, Loki says, I don't like hurting people. It's a facade to inspire fear, right? And so by this time, Morbius just tells Loki, look, we need your help. We're trying to find out why is it that our Minutemen are being killed, and we need your help because the variant that's killing our Minutemen, the TVA Minutemen, is you. And so they cut to a scene in Oklahoma, 1858, where these Minutemen from the TVA go into they come through a portal, they go into this open field, and they find this time machine from the future where it looks like trying to find oil. And they're assuming that whoever did that is just basically from the future trying to get rich. So they use a time machine to stick in the ground and find out where oil is. About this time, this is where a hooded figure, they don't show his face or anything like that. A hooded figure drops a lantern on the ground, burns up this huge area, including the Minutemen. They burn up. Next thing you know, the hooded figure, who is unknown, who you is pretty assuming is probably Loki, picks up the lantern and the episode ends. So that was basically everything those were the biggest moments that happened in this episode 1 of season 1 of Loki. Now, I will tell you that I really, really enjoyed watching this because it was different in the sense that it was more of a psychological experience. Seeing the dialogue between Owen Wilson's character and also Tom Hiddleston's character, the chemistry was really, really good. But it was also interesting just seeing how Morbius was able to get Loki to peel back layers and just, say, hey, why do you hurt people? Why are you like this? Why do you call yourself the god of mischief? And this, he's really just trying to get Loki to open up, but at the same time understand him, because he's going to need his help to help fix the timeline. So, I was really impressed. It has some pretty good visuals in terms of, they didn't go super crazy, but there was some pretty nice moments during this first episode in terms of a few visuals. I think probably some of the biggest moments in terms of the visuals, I really like how they went back in time and they showed a lot of those events from Loki's past, from his perspective, and it was just it was something about it. It just had me hooked from the very beginning. Very, very intrigued. It seemed like the story was just told in a way that was just so compelling. So I really enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to episode 2. And, this is really, really going to be great. This episode was about 49 minutes. There's no post-credit scene. So as soon as the credits start, you can go ahead and stop it. But it was really, really good. I'm so looking forward to this. And yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So anyway, that was my review/reaction to episode 1 of Loki on Disney Plus. What did you think about this? This is a great time to post your thoughts down in the comments below, man. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching this video on the way out. Hit that like if you liked the video. Share this video. And man, if I can say it again, as I always say, if you sitting right there can see this video, if you can see this video in this day and age, let me tell you something. With everything going on in the world, you are truly, truly blessed. Believe that. And as always, what are you gonna do in your downtime? Peace. Subscribe.